Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Big Life Podcast. I'm Leah Klenke.
And I'm Kate Phillips, and we're so excited to have you guys here today for episode 10 of The Big Life. Leah, how did your games go this past week?
So good. It was a good week for us. We played Duke and we won. Yay. So Duke was ranked number 3. We were ranked number 6. We had a home game, huge crowd, like so much of the school came, a bunch of parents, a bunch of like young little girls to watch us play, so many of the other sports teams. So our stands were filled. It was such a fun night under the lights. And we played really good. We were up, I think 1-0 at halftime, and then second half, or maybe we were up 2-0. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Second half, we made it 3-0, and then they, I guess we kind of lost a little bit of focus. They scored 2 goals pretty fast, back to back, and then we were kind of scrambling for the last like 12 minutes, I think, just trying to hold them to 2 goals. So it was 3-2 for like the last 10. Definitely a hard fought battle. I mean, Duke is very good. They have very technical players. They like to play soccer, just pass the ball on the ground. So we tried our best to stop them and we did really well. We missed some chances that we could have scored too. They did too. So it was a pretty good game, and really good for us to score those 3 goals fast. I mean, we could have managed the game a lot better at the end because there was like 20 something minutes left and it was 3-0, but they scored 2 really great goals. I mean, and they have great players. So it was a good game though, super fun. Yeah, I mean, overall just awesome. That was really good performance from us, and we're excited to see what we can do next because we have a tough schedule coming up. And next week, or I guess this week now, our next game is against UNC. So they're also ranked. I can't remember their ranking, but they're ranked in probably the top 15. So that should be another great game, another game that we'll have at home under the lights. Um, so that's gonna be a good one. So it's hard to kind of like celebrate our win because we just got to move on to the next one. So great win, but like we're focused on UNC now and just trying to prepare for that game. So, but yeah, it was a great week for us last week and we're excited for this week. We play UNC and then on Sunday we travel and we'll play Clemson away. So that'll be fun.
You play
Um,
Wednesday, Sunday?
yeah, Wednesday, Sunday. Our game is weird. It's on Wednesday. So I guess this podcast will actually be out after the game's over. So hopefully it'll be an Irish win. But yeah, should be a good week. I'm excited. How was your game last week or your games last week? And what do you guys have coming up these week or in this
Yeah.
week?
So we played Tennessee on Thursday. They were ranked 5 at the time. We ended up losing 2-0. It was it was a battle. I mean they're a really good team. I had a lot of action. They just I mean they shoot from everywhere, so like just being mentally ready. I knew going into that game it was gonna be hard. Do anything I can to try to help my team. Um, I would like to say their goals were great. Um, the first one was off a deflection from me, so it was like just frustrating. She can't really do much. Second one, if I could get that one back, I would. The second one, definitely. But they're a good team. They've done well this season. So it was good playing them, knowing that we can play with the top 5 team, but obviously would have liked a better result. And then we played Kentucky on Sunday, and that game we were tied the entire game 0-0. It was another battle, very physical game. I think Sunday games, we've talked about this. I mean, they're hard. I think they are a little bit more physical just because legs are heavy and people can get a little chippy. That game specifically was very chippy. And then we left it to the last minute and a half, and we gave up a penalty in the box and they ended up scoring. So we ended up losing 1-0, which was kind of a heartbreaker. I mean, that was a game that like we knew we needed to come in and win, and obviously didn't get the result that we wanted to, but we do have Mississippi State on Friday, and that's another great team. So we definitely can bounce back from it. Mississippi State has had some interesting results. They just tied Auburn 1-1, and then they had beaten Tennessee before. So you never know what can happen. It can go either way for any team. So we're looking forward to that game, and we just have one game. So that's just what we're looking forward to, and hoping we can bounce back and get a win on Friday.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, anything can happen, and it's just important no matter if you just won or lost to just move on and focus on the next games because you got more coming. Kind of to go off of this, I know FSU played North Carolina State also on Sunday this past week, and they ended up tying 1-1. But North Carolina State is a team that they did not do very good in their like out of conference games. They had some ties and losses to some teams that they should be better than, but then they come into ACC play, and we played them last week, like such a hard fought battle. We scored in the last 5 minutes to win, and then this week they played FSU. They tied 1-1, but they were up on FSU 1-0, and then FSU scored a great goal in the last 30 seconds. So, I mean, North Carolina State is now a team to watch and a team to like be on the lookout for as they're tying and almost beating these really good teams. So, I mean, that's just another testament to how anything can happen. And
Yeah.
especially once conference play starts, it's like it's really anyone's game and anyone can come out to battle. I mean, North Carolina State, I watched that game online and they were battling the whole time, like sliding, blocking, deflecting, just working super hard. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, anything can happen and it's
I
exciting.
think
It's an exciting week for both of us.
it is. I think also just we've talked about conference is a whole different thing. You're talking about NC State. Also, the amount of goals, I mean, I think about this because this has happened to us, but the amount of goals that have gotten scored in the last 2 minute, 2 to a minute if left in the game is just like I mean it can go either way for any team any day. But that has been very like interesting to me just because in conference it's like nobody's gonna like put their foot down off the gas pedal while you're playing. Like nobody's gonna like pull off, like you were saying
Yeah.
against Duke. Like
Yeah.
everybody's
Right.
going 100%
Yeah.
the entire time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
Yes.
I don't really see that during non-conference. But during
Mm.
conference you just see like Bola scored with 1 minute left. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen that
Yeah.
multiple times
Yeah.
this past week, so
Yeah. Definitely. It's important to like not lose focus at all if you are the team that's winning. And I mean, no one's gonna let off the gas. You're playing for championships, like you're playing for rings, so people are battling for sure. Yeah, I mean, my team definitely learned a, a lot by playing Duke, especially in the fact that we almost lost or like lost control of the game, I guess. We could have easily tied or lost that game just in the end because we did not manage the game very well when we were up by few goals. So definitely a lot to take away and but we live and we learn and we grow and we move on to the next week and the next games because they keep
yep.
coming. Today, we have a special guest joining us for this episode, Coach Nate Norman. He's here with us today, and he is the head coach at Notre Dame. He's been the head coach now for 8 years, and he was named the ACC Coach of the Year in 2022. Throughout his time at Notre Dame, he has turned the program around and has led our team to a lot of success. We've reached the quarterfinals in the NCAA tournament twice in the past 3 years, and also the semifinals of the ACC tournament twice in the past 3 years, with the help of Coach Nate, of course. Nate is not only just a great coach, but also a wonderful person. He really cares about his players and ensuring their success both on and off the field. And he's also a husband and a father to three beautiful young kids. So, Nate, why don't you tell us just a little bit about yourself first and your soccer career?
Yeah. Well, first, thanks for having me on. I'm really excited to be hanging out with you too this evening and talking soccer with you. But yeah, soccer's always been a big part of my life. Like many people, I'm sure listening to this, I was able to grow up playing soccer. I was born in Kansas, but lived in a lot of places. Started playing soccer in St. Louis, Missouri, but spent most of my middle school and high school in Michigan. So just north of Detroit is where I Played most of my club soccer when I was a little bit older, but was fortunate enough to go to Notre Dame. Had a wonderful time there. Played for an amazing coach named Bobby Clark, who definitely like is probably one of the big reasons why I coach is I loved playing for him. He was a wonderful coach, but even a better person, and was able to play after college for a few years. But now, I've been blessed to be able to come back to my alma mater and coach at Notre Dame, which has been a dream. I will say, like coaching, even when I got done playing, wasn't initially my goal. I thought I actually wanted to get into ministry work. That was what I wanted to do, and I had kind of been going to school for that, even after college, and I got offered a coaching job just kind of randomly out of the blue, and it was something that, for whatever reason, really excited me, and I wanted to try it for a year to see what happened, and I absolutely loved it, and I'm very happy that I was able to do it because I think in a lot of ways the things that I was passionate about, which I loved soccer, but I also loved just being able to um, hopefully make a difference in people's lives and help prepare them for life in general, which is a lot of what ministry work is. That was able to be done organically through coaching, and I've felt very blessed to be able to have the position now that I have, and to be able to be at an amazing school and coach a lot of amazing women like you, Leah.
Well, thank you. How did you get into like college coaching versus like why not club soccer coaching or like high school or even professional? Like what's special about college soccer, do you think?
Yeah, I think going back to like what I said, um, I loved my college coach, and my 4 years in college were really influential, not only from just a soccer standpoint, but I think me just growing and maturing. I was probably a little immature my freshman year, even probably sophomore year, and I think I need to learn a lot of life lessons. And luckily, I had a coach that was willing to like I would say like go in the valleys with me. Like when I struggled, he didn't just like write me off. And I felt like, especially during my time in college, and I think for a lot of people, it's a very influential time in their life. And I think when you're a club coach or even coach professionally, yes, you get to run a lot of training sessions and you get to be on the field a lot, and it's a lot of tactical video and stuff, which is fun, and I enjoy all that stuff. But college, you genuinely get to like live life with these people, and you get to help them through tough times. You get to celebrate amazing times, and for me, like that's what makes college coaching so special. Is we spend a lot of time with our players, and you all go through a heck of a journey during your 4 years here, and I think that is why I love coaching in college. Is we get to not only coach soccer at a really really high level. Like I actually really believe that like playing in the ACC, I think is one of the top 3 or 4 leagues in the world, and that's professionally or college. And then we also get to help you guys through the challenges of not only academic life but your social life going through. Not that I'm necessarily super involved with all your social lives, but if you're struggling, like we're here to help you through something, or and even figuring out what you're passionate about in terms of what you want to do after soccer's done is something that I love doing as well.
Hmm.
What gaps do you like see between high school aged girls and college age girls that like girls need to kind of improve on or like gain to smooth out the transition coming into college soccer?
So the first thing I'm going to say, and Leah's probably heard me talk like this a lot, but it actually really has nothing to do with like on the soccer field. Um, I think a lot of players that come and play at schools like Missouri or Notre Dame, they probably are one of the top players from whatever environments that they're coming from, whatever club teams or high school teams. And their experiences have probably always been, if they're healthy and it's a close game, they're going to play as much as they physically are able to. And a lot of times going and playing college is the first time people experience maybe not playing as much as they would like. And I think if I could give like one piece of advice to anybody that's about to go play in college over the next few years, it's to think about how can you still be a great teammate, um, and make a positive impact on your team, even if you're not playing 60, 70, 80, 90 minutes a game. What does that look like every day in practice? What does that look like during the games? What does that look like in the locker room, back in the dorm rooms, the apartments? Like, how can you still make a positive impact on your teammates? And also, how can you measure yourself even outside of just playing time? Because I like a lot of players, like I was conditioned just like a lot of youth players, like I'm doing well when I'm playing a lot. I'm not doing well, I'm not playing a lot. And I think there's so much more that's going on. Not that we shouldn't want to desperately play, but there's so many better ways to, really measure our growth during that time. Like I always tell this story, like one of the players that, and Leah played with her that played in our program, who's a really talented player, was Corbin Albert. There was somebody on our team that was playing behind her. There was probably nothing that I could sit with that player and say, hey, if you just do this, this, and this for 6 months, you're going to bypass Corbin Albert and play over her. Um, but I could definitely help whoever that player was find other ways to continue to grow in their own game and measure themselves outside of playing time. And also, how can they positively impact their teammates? And I think for me, like that's something that's really important for young players is like, especially players that are going to go play in the upper echelon of college, is like, yes, you should want to play and you should desperately want to play and do everything you can to earn minutes your freshman year. But if it doesn't happen, figure out how to be a great teammate, because I'll be honest, like me personally, like I wasn't a great teammate my freshman year when I didn't play as much as I wanted, and I had a miserable experience because of that. And I wish I could go back and have that year back, because college should be for the best years of your life.
Yeah, I think that's a great point just to always, like you kind of talk about in our program a lot, like serving your teammates, like being there for your teammates on and off the field and just doing whatever you can to help them, even if you're not getting what you want, because that is the reality for a lot of the players going into college, like you said. And I feel like also for our team, you really prioritize for us a balance in life, academically, socially, athletically, all of it. So, kind of going off of that, although soccer is obviously super important for all of our team, it is crucial to have other things in life to value and other things to live for. So, personally, for you, like as a coach, we know you have so many different coaching responsibilities, but can you tell us a little bit about kind of how you balance being a coach and life outside of your job, like with your family and other things you do?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think I'm still always trying to find the right balance. Like you mentioned, I have a wonderful, beautiful wife, and I have three lovely children. They're 7, 5, and 2. And I think there's a constant juggling act of like wanting to be the best coach and be able to give you all enough to be able to be as successful as you can on the field, while also being the best husband I can be, the best father. Um, One of the things that I really try to tell myself is like when I'm driving home, like after practice or a game or whatever, had happened, is like, can I really like kind of clear my head and go home and be present, and being present with my family, with my wife, and not just have my mind constantly thinking about, okay, what's the next thing? How are we going to potentially win the next game, or how am I going to help this player, manage this player? We do video, if what are we going to talk about, or what's the main coaching point? And I think that for me, if I'm being honest, is a challenge. I don't do it perfectly, but it's something that I always want to be able to do. And I think really like players that have, I think people like coaches, players that really do have good balance. I think there's a lot of research that shows this, have balance in their life. And it's not just one thing. Like even some of the most successful pros, like have other things in their lives that they can switch off to, whether it's the family, a spouse, whether it's their faith, whether it's just something else they're passionate about in their life. And I think it's really important for especially high level athletes and soccer players specifically to not just have soccer, because as you all probably have had, like soccer can be taken away brief moments, whether it's an injury or it's some disappointment. And I think that's a lesson that I'm always trying to tell myself, is like I have to be able to balance out my life with what other things are my responsibilities. And I think if I do that well, it actually will make me a better coach.
Yeah, that's something me and Leah talk about like pretty often is we always like check in and see how each other are doing just outside of soccer because I mean it's huge. I mean, you're obviously a student athlete and I mean, we talk about you're a student first, so you have life outside of just being an athlete, and soccer won't always be there, like you said. I
Yeah.
mean, we've talked to people about that, and that's a huge thing that definitely I think a lot of younger athletes also can learn a lot about, especially becoming if they want to play college soccer.
How do you guys balance that?
I try to find things just that I love to do, like hanging out with my friends. We talk a lot about we haven't really talked much on the podcast, but whenever we talk, we do Bible study as a team here at Mizzou. I know you guys do that, Leah. I think that's helped a ton with our team. But just finding different things that I enjoy that aren't involving any sports, just because it's a nice mental break a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. No,
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's wonderful that you guys do that. And I think I think it's healthy that, like you said, you have other things that you can pour in each other's lives with doesn't have anything to do with soccer because it can be overwhelming what we do. And you have to have that balance and it helps put things in perspective as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I like your point when you were like, when I go home, like I'm just turning my brain off soccer and like just focusing on like my family and stuff. And I try to do a similar thing and I struggle at it a lot because I like to think about what I've done, what I can do better, what I can do, whatever, before the next training to improve like everything. I'm just thinking about soccer, but I've really been trying lately to just once I'm like done with the session, like I'm done until the
Yeah.
next time. And it has helped me like become a better player. And when I take rests and take breaks, like
Yeah.
for sure, definitely
Yeah.
helps me become a better player. And yeah, I mean, outside of soccer, we also do the team Bible study, like Kate, and just do fun things with the team and with my friends here. Like tonight, we had a little Sunday night at our house, so that was fun. We made brownie sundaes.
Oh.
Um,
My phone must have been broken when you guys were trying to invite me. I never got that invite
I
to the
don't think the
Brownie
text
Sunday.
went through it. It
Yeah, you know how those phones are. A lot of these texts don't actually ever go through. So yeah,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we like sweet treats here at Notre Dame.
we definitely do. So yeah,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so going back to just being head coach, what do you think is the most rewarding part and what is the most challenging in your opinion?
I think a lot of coaches. I mean, I don't know. Maybe this isn't true, but my assumption is a lot of coaches get into coaching for a similar reason. Um, we want to impact people's lives, like in its most general way, and I think that is when we see people grow not only as players but really as people and how they develop into the person that they were meant to be and that maybe God had that plan for them and watch them grow through adversity and build resilience like that for me is the most rewarding thing. And on the same side, like I think a challenge as a coach is like not to be caught up like just how I'll like preach to our team like hey your identity isn't your who you are as a soccer player. You have so much more than that. But as coaches, sometimes we fall into the trap of thinking our identity is like how much we win games or how the world like views us, in that way. And the reality, like I don't actually think of any of my friends like that are coaches. Like I don't, like if a coach like has a bad season, like I don't all of a sudden think, oh, they must have forgotten how to coach or something. There's lots of things that can happen, and but sometimes as coaches, like we get caught up in like just yeah the kind of race of like I wonder what the world thinks about us or I wonder um like gosh if we don't win games like what's going to happen and this and that and I think a big challenge is just like still focus on like the foundational like what are we really doing here and I think being able to like really take care of yourself as a coach like I think honestly and we probably haven't heard coaches talk like this. Like, I actually think like mental health is a huge problem for coaches. Like, I think coaches turn into people that they don't want to be end up being because they don't actually take care of themselves. And I think for coaches, like having that balance in their life and always going back to like, why did I originally get back into it, and resetting themselves and taking a deep breath, like if they start to get like upset or emotional, like I think is so important for like the longevity of just like health as coaches. Because I think for a lot of like, kind of me and my colleagues, like I always try to urge myself and others is like, we have to be able to take care of ourselves, because if we don't, we're not going to be able to give you all like what you really need and deserve, like in these challenging moments. So
You talked a lot about, I mean, you're talking about mental health and even just like social media as a whole a little bit. I think that's become a big part, a lot of, I mean, as college soccer has grown, media coming with it. How have you seen just women's soccer, continuing to grow and evolve, specifically like college soccer?
yeah, I think in some ways it's been great. Like it has evolved in some ways. Like we need to do more and we need to be better. If I'm just being really honest, like I think us as coaches, and I'm a younger coach, but like we have to be more aggressive and like making sure that like you all get the attention that you need and deserve. Not at a national level, whether it's getting on TV more, whether it's getting more attention focused on our NCAA tournament, our Final Four, and be able to push that through the NCAA. Like I actually believe that some sports over the last 20, 30 years have, especially on the women's side, have done it way better than us. And it's disappointing. Like, not that I am mad. I don't want to take anything away from them, but like you look at like if you go back to like the mid to late 90s, I do think that women's soccer, at least on the women's side of the NCAA, was on par with maybe any other women's sport in the NCAA. And now like women's basketball has, that they do get more attention and things like that, and they're on ESPN. That they show more of their games, because I do think that maybe people have fought harder. I think volleyball is fighting like crazy, and I think we have to fight just as hard, if not harder, because I think the product that we put out and the fan base that's out there is there, but we have to be able to do it in a way that is way more aggressive than we have been. Um, and I think that's something that I'm always thinking about, and how can college soccer evolve to, because I think it's such a great product on the field, and it's also such a wonderful experience for you all. Like there's no other place in the world where you can play at this level and also continue to grow as people and be able to get this degree that will set you up for the rest of your life. And I think like I said, I think the upper echelon of college soccer is on par with pretty much like any league in the world. I really do believe that. And I think if we put more effort and we're out there more, like the sky's the limit of what we could do.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a really good point. That would be cool to see women's college soccer continue to grow and evolve in that way. And I feel like it'll be interesting with all of these new rules and the house settlement and how everything plays out in the next few years.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll
Yeah.
see college soccer grow and grow for the best, really.
Yeah.
So, last few questions to just end the interview. More specifically, just about Notre Dame. What is your favorite thing about being the head coach specifically at Notre Dame?
Like I said, I went to Notre Dame, and I loved my experience, not because like every day was just this awesome, like wonderful thing, but I think Notre Dame is this, for me, it was the perfect place. Like I want a place that I could be stretched in every aspect of my life. And not only from soccer, not only school, but I could be stretched, who I was as a person, and figure out the things that I was passionate about. But what I love most about Notre Dame is it's a challenging place that will push you and stretch you. But if you fail, if you stumble, like I always felt like when I was a player, there was an army of people that were able to help me through that. And I really believe like Notre Dame has a soul, like the school itself has a soul. I think the people that work at Notre Dame don't just come to work at Notre Dame for just a job. I think I think they're willing to go above and beyond. And I even feel that, being on the other side as a coach, because, if there's ever even just like a personal struggle that I have, like the amount of people that are willing to go above and beyond for you is amazing. And that for me is what makes Notre Dame special. Like, I mean, Notre Dame's a great place. Like, there's nice, like we have beautiful facilities, and there's great support and funding and things like that. And like all that stuff is fine, but it's not, I don't think that stuff is what makes places truly special. And I think just the the spirit and the type of person that I think comes to work at Notre Dame makes this place really, really unique. Because I never felt like I was just a number or an asset to people. I felt like I was truly like someone that people cared about. That when I did struggle, that they were willing to help me through those struggles.
Hmm. Yeah, I would completely agree, and I second that. I think what's special about Notre Dame does is definitely it's the people, like it's the community of the people, and how much people care about you and about everything you do. So I would definitely agree with that. What is your favorite memory on or off the field? It can be anything from our team, like this year
Just
so
this
far.
year?
Yeah, so actually any of the years, but like just a memorable memory.
Hmm. I have a lot of good memories. I don't know if it's just because like it was sort of recent we talked about it. When I think an on the field memory that was really, really unique and like special because I feel like it was a big moment for like my time here as a coach. We like my first, 3 or 4 years here, like we were a good team, but I don't know if we were um a great team. And we played this game in 2022, and we played Virginia, who I think was ranked like second in the country at the time. Really good team, and we just like we won the game, but it was like kind of how we won it. Like it wasn't like one of those games where like okay, they just pounded you and you just figured out a way to like grind out. Like we did like play really well in the game. And I remember, one of Leah's teammates, Ellie Ospec, after the game, like she like was saying like in passing, she goes, "Oh my gosh, like we're really good." And I actually felt like that was a really great moment for like our program because sometimes I think even if you have like the talent, like you need to convince yourself. And I think the team like believed, okay, like we can play with anyone. And kind of like I was telling our team, like I almost look at like everything that happened before that moment, and then there was everything that happened after that moment because everything sort of changed after that. Like there wasn't anybody that we played against that I felt like we were like, oh gosh, like like I hope we can just hold on in this game. But like it gave us like a belief that maybe wasn't really happening before that game happened. So like that was like an on the field thing. I mean, off the field, honestly, like some of my best memories, like and Leah like says this. I think the team maybe when they first know me, they're or get to know me, they're like surprised by this. Like I love when we're on road trips and I get to like we like walk and go find like ice cream places and stuff like that. First, I think they're like, "Oh my gosh, like you caught me like getting ice cream," and I was like, "Oh no, I'm just mad that you didn't invite me." Like what's going
Yeah.
on here? So I mean, I love like that part of it. I love like our game nights that we have
Hmm.
as a team. Like I love all that stuff. I have such wonderful, wonderful memories and those ways too. So yeah.
Yeah.
Was there another question in that? I couldn't remember. I kind of started talking.
No, that was it.
That was
Like
it.
your favorite memories.
Okay.
Yeah. Those
Yeah.
are those are good memories. Definitely that Virginia game. That was a good game. That was
Yes.
my
Yeah.
freshman year, so that
And
was
they were like that year like they were phenomenal too. So it wasn't
yeah.
like I said, it was like against a really talented team and we played really, really well that game. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep, I would agree. And then yeah, off the field, I think I've mentioned in these podcasts before, like we always go get ice cream, and I've definitely mentioned game nights too when we were talking about our preseason and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a time where they like basically just make fun of all the coaches and all that stuff. It ends up being just like a roast of us. So but that's okay. I can take it, Yeah.
It's all love.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to the most the rest of the season then?
Like this might sound like a cliche answer, but I mean, I'm talking like this, and it's like just the journey of like whatever happens, happens, like and how we can respond and react. Like obviously you want to win, each game, but like for me, like the like each game, each practice is like a new like little life form of its own that like we have to respond and grow in it each time, and everything's going to bring like a different challenge, and I'm just looking forward to watching our group take on those challenges and really grow through whatever the season throws at us, and whether it's a good thing or, it's some sort of adversity, which hopefully is just, a little bit of fertilizer to help us grow a little bit more. But like we have a tough game on Wednesday. We play North Carolina and like excited to play, against a really good team and we'll go after it as hard as we can, and we'll analyze whatever happens after the game and figure out how we can grow and get better at it. And really doing that each game and watching our team do that. Like, and I know I'm like rambling here, but I think as a coach, and I talk about this to our team a lot. I think every year there's like these inflection points that you don't really necessarily know when they're going to come, but they're super important moments. Like Alex says, I'm talking like I don't think Leah, you were on this team, and I can't imagine Kate, you were on this team, but in 2021, we actually played Missouri at Missouri. And were you on
Yeah.
that team, Leah? No, that was before you.
No, a year before,
Um,
yeah.
yeah. And they beat us 3-2. And like and they beat us like fair and square. Like they were better than us. Like we didn't play very well. We didn't play a lot of energy. And like we could have like felt sorry for ourselves. We could have made a bunch of excuses and pointed fingers at each other. And I just remember like afterwards, like I love the way our team reacted. I think we ended up going on like an 11 game unbeaten streak after that. And it was like a great moment for our team to grow. I don't think you need necessarily a loss like that to grow. I think you can still grow through wins. But I do think a lot of times there's these adverse moments that happen that either can make or break teams. Like it could be a tough loss. It could be like, interpersonal conflict within a team. It could be an injury to like a key player, like that just kind of breaks the team, or it could actually rally the team. It could be, um, like we said, how players maybe respond that aren't playing as much as that they want. Are they someone, is there a group that's tearing the team apart, or is there a group that's actually in the back that's bringing the team forward and encouraging the team and bringing an amazing amount of energy every day in practice? And for me, like what I'm looking forward to is tackling whatever one of those challenges can come and be excited about it and hopefully grow from it, that we can use that inflection point to help us get better and better and better.
I think that is a great point. And yeah, you talk about like what do you yeah, you're like talking about these inflection points to us like throughout the season, and they can either like you say they either like make or break a team. So I think that's important, and it's just how the team can respond to any adversity, because it's not going to be a smooth ride. It's not going to be
Yeah.
a straight line through the season, win, win, win. Like that's just not how it works with any team. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just how you respond and come back, and
I
those
I
are the things
do
that do well.
I do believe, and I've said this to you guys before, and Kate, I don't know if you can relate to this, but I think that the majority of college soccer teams don't actually get better as the year goes on. They actually get worse. I think it seems like the first like half the season, you get everyone's best shot. But then you start playing teams in the second half of the season, and you can tell some teams have either grown and used that adversity and they're even better. And there's other teams that you can just say, okay, they're over it. Like they're just over it at this point. And it's always the challenge as a group, as coaches, as players, is like no matter what happens, like can you continue to grow and use whatever it throws at you to become a stronger and better and more resilient and team that as you can be. And I think that's really important. And but I also know it's tough when maybe things aren't going your way, but that's also life, and that's wonderful about what we get to do is it's a microcosm of what we're going to experience when we're all done playing soccer.
Yeah, right. Yeah. For sure. So, I mean, that's the end of the interview, unless you want to say anything else. But thank you so much for joining us today and letting us interview.
Yeah.
We learned so much about you and your coaching and kind of how to live a balanced life. We talked a lot about the value of just women's college soccer and all. And we're just so excited to see kind of what you and Notre Dame and us we accomplished this year. I'm so lucky to have a coach like you and so grateful. So again, thank you for joining us tonight.
No,
Yeah,
thank
thank you so much.
Yeah, no, thank you guys for having me, and good luck to you guys, Kate. And I know Steph really well. Like, love Steph, and you guys have a great coach. And I'll say, like, she's someone I always actually like really do admire and look up to, and has been really good to me. So I know you guys are in great hands, and I know you guys have, a big. You guys have done well so far, and I know you got some big games coming up. So I wish you guys the best of luck. So.
Yeah, thank you. Steph actually had some very kind words as well to say. She was talking about going to ECNL events and just she really likes sitting next to you and you guys share. She said you guys share like some books or something.
Yeah, yeah, we always give each other. I actually like, yeah, I'll tell her like some of the books I've read over the last year, and she'll tell me some of hers. And I always feel like I can get it some good book recommendations and stuff. And we have a lot of the same interests and passions. So obviously coaching, but even other aspects of our life. So she's always someone, like I said, that I really look up to and admire. And I think she's got a lot of wisdom, and I really do appreciate her. Yeah.
Well, it was really nice getting to meet you. Yeah, good luck with the rest of your season. Get to learn a lot about your guys' team, and it seems like you guys are doing super well, so keep it up.
Yeah. Thanks, Kate.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Of course, thank you, Nate.
It was awesome getting to talk to Nate. So thank you for bringing him on. I mean, he seems amazing as a coach. One of the takeaways that I had from talking to him was when he was talking about mental health related to coaches. Recently, obviously, mental health has been a huge thing in college athletics, in life in general. But I feel like you don't think about coaches' mental health when you think about it as in the college athletic sense that I mean they deal with almost as much as we do and we just kind of are focused on like our lives and playing and school and whatnot and you don't think about checking in with your coach. But him saying that just kind of opened my mind a bit. Obviously, we always want our coaches to be doing well in um, life in general, but I think him saying that was something that I never really thought about. I don't know if that's something you've thought about before.
Yeah, I think that was a really interesting point. Like you said, mental health like a few years ago wasn't even really talked about within college athletes, but now it's definitely kind of arisen to the media and people are finally starting to talk about it, which is great. And it's definitely needed because we go through so many stresses in soccer, out of soccer, in our daily lives and academics, everything. But like you said, coaches go through the same thing and they have their lives outside of soccer. They have their families, and everything outside of soccer, along with everything they do inside of soccer, everything they do for their team. They have to plan training sessions. They have to go fly across the country to go recruiting on some random weekends. Like they have so much on their plates too. So, and I have never even really thought about that either, but I'm glad that Coach Nate talked about that. And I think like mental health within coaches and within the coaching community should be talked about more and should be given more attention for sure, just as it is to the athletes. And I really hope that the coaches and advisors and strength coaches and everyone who works with teams have the resources available to help them with their mental health and just to make sure that everyone again is having a good balance in their life because it shouldn't just be work work work. Like you have to take breaks, you have to do stuff for yourself, so that's really important. I think one of my biggest takeaways was just him talking again about just the balance that you must have in your life as a college soccer player. He talked a lot about just taking breaks, taking time for yourself. Like he even asked us like, what do you guys like to do outside of soccer? Like I thought that was great. Like he's super interested in that. And that's what I definitely like have I love having him as a coach because he cares about us so much more outside of soccer and he's interested in asking us about these things and hearing about our stories and our academics. He asks about school.
Mhm.
Um, Whenever I go into like meetings with him, or we'll have like a preseason meeting, like an in-season meeting, like an individual meeting with the coaches. And one of the first questions he always asks us is like, how's academics going? And then he'll ask us like, have you been involved in any community service?
Mhm.
Um, if he knows like you're in a relationship, he'll be like, how's your boyfriend doing? Like, how's your family doing? Like he asks all these questions just to make sure that everything outside of soccer is also good because I mean that matters just as much as soccer. So I think that's been really valuable to me as a player to have a coach who really like sees me as a whole person and not just for my soccer abilities. So I think that's great, and I think that's really something that people need to need to like look for in college coaches when looking at schools. And yeah, because some coaches just probably only care about the statistics and their money and how much they make, and they're more selfish and just care about their program but not like each individual girl as a person. So I think that's really interesting and something that people should look forward into in coaches for sure.
I definitely agree. That's something my coaching staff, again, like when we have individual meetings, the very first question is, how are you doing? How are you doing today? It's, yeah, how are classes? Have you
Hmm.
done exactly the exact same thing you said? How's community service? How's your
Yeah.
family? Just checking in. Our coaches know that soccer's hard, so they want to make sure that we have other things also that are going well, or even if things outside of soccer aren't going well, then they might know that there's a reason that you're maybe down someday, or just being able to have a personable relationship with your coach is something that's huge, and that I think talking to Nate, I think you guys kind of have that. I have it with my head coach and my assistant coaches as well, that I'm able to tell them if there's something outside of soccer that's maybe bothering me that um, may be affecting me that day, or is a reason that I'm not 100%, but building that relationship first and then a coach relationship is huge. So it's
Hmm.
like, yeah, when you're looking at colleges, that is something that I definitely um, am happy that I chose a program that they take very serious.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and just care about you as a whole person and just how you're doing. And then like they're willing to provide the support for you. Like if you're not doing well in classes, or if you're not doing well socially or something, like they'll help you out and help you through that. So I mean, I think that's great. And it sounds like both of our coaches are similar, probably because they're friends, it seems like.
Yeah, yeah.
Um so yeah, I mean that sounds great. I'm glad we're both at programs where our coaches are like that and really care about us. And the team, of course, in soccer, but definitely care about us as human beings too. So that's good. So I think that's it for this week. I mean, next week we have yet again another week of exciting college soccer, but I mean, thank you all for listening to this episode of the Big Life Podcast. Reach out to us if you have any questions, and we'll be back next week. So until next time, we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Hi, good luck.